5 News at 10 p.m.
Good evening and thank you for watching KREX 5 News at 10. I'm Ivan Fisher.
And I'm Shelby Bracho. A second District 51 school in Palisade is getting a disinfection treatment. And
this comes after 8% of students were reported sick on Friday. Mount Garfield Middle is going to be cleaned this weekend after 2 schools in the Palisade area are hit by what's being called a viral illness. Palisade High School shut down for cleaning Thursday and Friday due to significant student and staff illness. The district says it's still unknown exactly what this illness is. Any students who have vomited more than twice in the last day or have other symptoms such as fever or diarrhea are encouraged to stay home on Monday. Mesa County Public Health says individuals need to take preventative measures to stay healthy as this virus is contagious. District 51 says Palisade High is still expected to reopen on Monday, but once again, any student still feeling ill is asked to stay home.
Glenwood Springs is hosting a free event called The Whole Shebang to rally the community to join the fight against the Mid-Continent Quarry expansion. Friday, the Glenwood Springs Citizens Alliance launched an opposition campaign called Don't Strip Glenwood. This campaign is aimed at preventing the Mid-Continent Quarry expansion, making the size of the quarry 30 times larger. Mayor Jonathan Godis says this expansion will injure the city's $500 million tourism economy. The Citizens Alliance goal with the Whole Shebang event is to inform city residents of what's being done to stop the limestone quarry expansion.
Our sole goal is to educate people, make sure they're aware of what is coming down the pipe, and get them engaged in our community and recognize the threat that this poses.
KREX 5 has contacted Rocky Mountain Resources for comment, and we will bring you the latest once we get a response. One group of Grand Valley residents are experts at making beer from scratch, but these are not full-time brewers. They are the competitors in the Bookcliff Homebrew Club's annual Iron Brew competition.
Bookcliff Home Brewing Club takes beer beyond the breweries and into their own hands, quite literally. KREX 5's Adrian Thomas was at the competition and has more on how this competition played out.
It all starts with hops, grain, water, and yeast. Fruta Hopworks, a local hops farm, hosts the annual Iron Brew competition for the Bookcliff Home Brew Club. Members of the club team up or work by themselves to brew a batch of beer to be judged at a later date.
Iron Brew, we show up and we get a kit and we don't know what's in it. We don't know what kind of hops or malt, and there's always a secret ingredient.
In order for each team to get the full points in today's competition, everyone must use sweet potatoes and marshmallows in their beer. And it's all in spirit of the holiday season.
It just seems like a perfect time of year when we're getting into Thanksgiving, and it's very creative. I don't know that anybody's brewed with sweet potatoes or marshmallows before.
Most participants don't work in the beer brewing industry, but one club member has made beer his life, at home and at work.
My day job is I'm a regional manager for Oscar Blues Brewery. But as a passion, I've been a home brewer for almost 20 years now, and it's something I enjoy doing and being in the business. Today, I'm brewing by myself.
Bookcliff Home Brew Club members say this competition is exciting because of how fast they have to combine ingredients to brew their batch.
We're doing it on the fly, so you'll see people taking notes and have their computers out, trying to figure out what their grain bill needs to be, when the hops go in.
For Monty Haltoner, he feels events like these are a great way for people to see how easy it is to make beer right from the comfort of their own home.
You get people interested in home brewing, teach them how to brew, about the intricacies of beer, the history of beer, and what beer means in Colorado.
First on the Western Slope, Adrian Thomas, KREX 5 News.
Testimony has wrapped up in the trial of a Colorado rancher accused of beating his fiancée to death with a baseball bat.
Suspect Patrick Frazee declined to testify Friday, and his lawyers didn't call any witnesses of their own. Closing arguments had been expected to follow the end of testimony, but court officials still need to work out jury instructions, so the arguments are now scheduled for Monday. A jail inmate testified that Frazee asked him multiple times to kill the key witness in the case, Crystal Lee, a former Idaho nurse who had an on and off relationship with Frazee. Without much physical evidence, prosecutors leaned on the testimony of Lee, who said she watched as Frazee burned what she believed was the body of Kelsey Barrett.
A Salt Lake City courtroom draws a quiet crowd Friday for the man at the center of an international smuggling case. A judge considered changing bail conditions for Paul Peterson, but the ruling was postponed until February. His alleged scheme involved bringing pregnant women from the Marshall Islands to the United States. Peterson would allegedly pay them $10,000 each, but then charge another family $35,000 for the adoption of the babies. He's facing 11 counts of human smuggling, fraud, and sale of a child charges in Utah. But his attorney says everyone was happy in those arrangements. House impeachment investigators conducted a rare weekend session. A senior official from the White House Budget Office testified privately about the president's order to hold military funds from Ukraine last summer.
As CBS News correspondent Kenneth Craig reports, it ends a dramatic week of open hearings.
President Trump tweeted Saturday that the economy and stock market would come crashing down if he's impeached. On Capitol Hill, House lawmakers held a behind-closed-doors deposition with senior White House budget official Mark Sandy. He testified about the freezing of nearly $400 million in military aid to Ukraine last summer, a key part of the investigation.
They can keep, having secret depositions down here in the basement of the Capitol. But I think the American people see through this whole thing.
On Friday, former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch, talked about being pushed out of her job by the president and his allies. About an hour into her testimony, President Trump tweeted, "Everywhere Marie Yovanovitch went turned bad. It is a U.S. president's absolute right to appoint ambassadors."
And now the president in real time is attacking you.
I mean, I can't speak to what the president is trying to do, but I think the effect is to be intimidating.
Transcripts of closed-door testimony of Jennifer Williams, an aide to Vice President Mike Pence, were released late Saturday. Williams, who was on the July 25th call between President Trump and President Zelensky, testified she found the call unusual and inappropriate, and she said it shed some light on possible other motivations behind a security assistance hold, including President Trump's personal political agenda. Kenneth Craig, CBS News.
Coming up, the native peoples of the Southwest and the Western Slope have their cultures on display here in Mesa County.
We'll give you a look at the weekend's gathering in just 60 seconds.